I was saying your internet is bad right now. Am I? Can you hear me? Am I audible?
I can. I can.
Okay. Okay. All right. All right. So, how you doing? First of all, Julian.
I'm doing tired right now, man. A little tired. How are
You're
you?
tired? What happened? It's so early in the morning. It's early in the morning, ain't it?
No sleep for the wicked, man. You gotta stay on it. You gotta stay working hard.
Okay. 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 So, okay. All right. Let me introduce you to the people who are watching this. Hi. Good evening. My name is Sushil. You're watching Equalist. With me, I have one of my friends, and his name is Julian Latty. And we started working together like maybe 5 6 years ago. But Julian is somebody who has views on almost everything. He has views on spirituality. He has views on the politics. He has views on Donald Trump. So let's talk to Julian. Hey, Julian, you have some problem with your phone, man. I mean, it's just dying. I mean, I could see you moving, but then suddenly your phone goes. I think some there is some internet issue. Okay.
Let me see if I can. I'm back now. Let's work
Okay.
with this.
Yeah.
Let's see how it goes.
Yeah.
Cool.
It's better. It's better. It's better. Okay. Okay. So how you doing? Would you like to talk about yourself a bit, and then and then we can indulge into different topics? Why are you so tired?
Um, Night. Then I got up and yeah, just taking care of business right now. A poor man, a rich man can think on his can think while sitting down, while a poor man has to think on his feet. And right now, poor man right now, and I'm doing everything in my willpower to try to change that. So you have to put in the hours, you have to put in the work. No guts, no
Yeah.
glory. So that's the stage of
Hmm.
life I'm in right now, and it's ironic. But a little bit about myself. I'm from a small town called Milton, Florida. Um, Both my parents were in the military, one in the Marine Corps, and he's an immigrant, and another one, she's from a small place out of Virginia. I grew up. I lived in Italy for a very short time with my mom, and lived in Washington D.C. And but I spent most of my life here. I was a bit of an athlete. I love martial arts, and that's for me growing up. I was able to spend time at my grandmother's business in Queens, and I saw how hard she worked. I saw what could happen if you it was just really instilled at me at a young age to work hard and to be successful. And that's one thing I credit my dad's side of the family for, is it's just going out and getting it. So yeah, that's really my attitude on life, is success without drama, success and anything, everything that I do. So that's me.
Okay. Okay. So what we see in I mean, we are from India, and most of the people who are watching us are from India only. So I just want to understand from your views how it is to be, what it is meant to be an American according to you.
Um, To be an American is to be free, to have and those ideas, as long as those ideas are detrimental to society, those ideas should be accepted. Um, America is different for different people. People see America through different perspectives. As far as I hate to say it, but as far as a Black American or a white American or an Asian American, it's just all of our lenses are skewed to our own perception. If that's not a double negative, this country, the world. I feel like my country is the greatest country in the world, and we do have our own problems within our own country. Every country does, but I love being American. I love being Black. I love being I love being here in my country. Nothing feels like home. Um, but that's how I feel about America and what my country is. And I'm only hoping that my country gets better for everyone, from uh, the person on the bottom end of the totem pole to even the very highest, because they have issues too. So that's how I see America. And I was actually listening to another podcast with Lex Friedman um, yesterday, and it had JFK's, I think, nephew or something like that, where he talked about another country in the world is following JFK's economic policies, and that country is actually succeeding. And what it was referring to is getting the people on the bottom of the totem pole, getting people on the lower end of the socioeconomic scale, getting them to a better position. Can you hang on for one?
Yep, yep.
All right, hello.
Yeah, yeah. I can hear you. Yeah.
Cool. Sorry about that.
Mhm. That's fine. That's fine. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, that's I forgot where it was at, but cool.
You were talking about RFK Jr. Robert Kennedy's son.
That's correct.
Yeah, yeah. You were saying that his father's the economy changes which John F. K. brought in America that were able to help other people in some other country in the world. Okay, and I agree with that because I mean, if you look at what John F. Kennedy really wanted, he just wanted to make sure that that CIA or the Pentagon do not have the kind of powers they're enjoying right now. I mean, it's an open secret that that the CIA is actually responsible for eliminating John F. Kennedy because he along with Martin Luther King Jr. They were thinking that actually when you're dropping a bomb on Vietnam, that bomb is not dropping in Vietnam. It's actually you're dropping it on a black man's home. That's what Martin Luther King Jr. said once in one of his speeches. I have a dream. So that I understand. But is there a problem with the link, Pankaj? Can you ask him to connect? Because I guess he needs to connect again. I think we have lost the connection with Julian, so we're trying to bring him back. Give us a second, okay, please. We are trying to bring the connection back with Julian, so it's gonna take some time. Meanwhile, I wanted to tell you that he was discussing what Robert F. Kennedy was talking recently in an interview, when he was telling that the John F. Kennedy's economic policies actually helps other countries. So why can't those policies help America? America's only problem is that it just keeps on fighting with other people, and it's not required for them to fight with other countries. But America keeps on doing it, okay, unnecessarily. It's like you're fucking around for no reason. Is he back? Okay, okay. Hmm. So, but after so many days, we are speaking to an American who actually has a genuine and a humble thought process about what America actually means. So once we get connected to him, I would let you know uh, the 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 real thoughts about an American, Black African American, or what he really thinks about America. We would also want to talk about. I guess he's joined me. Give me 1 second here. Yeah, you're back.
I'm back.
Okay.
Internet,
Okay.
internet, yeah, internet
Just look
issues.
at it. I mean, I'm a third world country. My internet didn't even blink once. So India wins. Yay.
I'm with it. I'm with it. Hey, hey, man. It is what it is. Come on, America. We need better internet, guys.
Okay, so I was just discussing about, I was telling the people who are watching this show, I was like, you would be talking about what it is, how do you perceive the coming elections in terms of an African American? What exactly is your thought process? Who do you think should become the president of the United States of America?
Um. Okay. So first of all, I do want to state when I'm for most intellectual people, or and I'm not saying that I'm an intellectual or I'm my intelligence is so high. I'm just saying I'm a basic person. Um, for myself, but most
Your internet is
when I
bad,
make it
man.
based
I mean,
on vote,
bad.
is it still cutting out?
Yeah, now it is okay. Go ahead.
All right. So did you get any of that?
No, no, I got that, that what intellectuals are actually looking at this election at.
Right. All right. So when I'm making a decision on who I'm voting for, I'm not looking at your race. I'm looking at the best person that does the job. And if I didn't vote for Barack Obama back in 2008 or 2012, I believe, I would have voted for Mitt Romney. I'm in the middle when it comes to politics, and I wasn't a very big fan of Biden for the crime bill that he helped establish with some other, with whoever signed that bill, because it was detrimental to my community, the Black community. So when it comes to voting, like I said, I try to go on who I feel would do the best job. I do not feel. I think when it comes to, I'm gonna go ahead and say it, Donald Trump. A lot of people like Trump because he says things straightforward, and he's not, like people say, he's a billionaire, and he doesn't have to go with the flow, which is technically true. But we also see where if you aren't a part of the establishment will come after you. It doesn't matter who you are, and that may not be based upon the establishment. It may have to do with right and wrong. But like I was getting back to, um, with Donald Trump, he I'm offended that someone like that can make a position like that, because the way I feel is this: if Barack Obama had the same qualifications as Donald Trump, if he came from the same place of Donald Trump, misogyn was, I believe the term is misogynist, just hanging out with rappers, um, he never would. I truly believe he never would have been president based on his skin color, and 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 I think that in itself is disrespectful to me and to other people, not even Black Americans, but to people who have to work hard to get where they have to get, because it's just it's unfair. You know, it's unfair
but but
to.
but what I think is that, I mean, if you are an African American, if you are an Asian, then the white people would look at your qualification, at your credentials. But if you are white, it doesn't matter, you can be Donald Trump as well. So, and that's cool. I mean, if you're Donald Trump, that's cool because you're Donald Trump, because you're white. So a white person would not even look for the qualifications or the credentials if you're Donald Trump. But if you are a Barack Obama, or if you are, and I don't agree with Barack Obama on many things, I don't like that guy, honestly speaking. However, what I'm saying is different. I'm saying that, as long as you're a person of color, then your qualification suddenly starts mattering a lot more than if you're white.
No, it does. It does. And no, it does. And when I said it's really disrespectful to the Black community. It's disrespectful to all minority groups who aren't the main demographic here. And it's like there's with someone's eyes open, like, look, see what's going on. No one can see it. But yeah, that's how I feel about Donald Trump. He would never get my vote for to run for president. I believe he's a clown. He doesn't deserve that position. And we saw how destructive he was when he was leaving office, how divided he left the country. And I mean, if that would have been me, I'd be in prison for the next 800 years. They wouldn't let me out. My bones would literally still be in my bones would be in the prison. So it's it's just, I really think it's a shame. And most conservatives would never agree with me. Even some, or there would be some conservatives that would agree with me. But I think
Uh-huh.
I think it's wrong. But as far as voting, I listened to two podcasts this in the last year. One with he's a conservative. Oh my gosh, I can't think of his name, but I really liked them. Ben Shapiro and JFK's nephew, or whatever it may be. I like both of them. As far as Biden, he's more like to me at this point, like, hey, he's there, so cool. And I didn't vote this last past election just because I knew it was either going to be um, it's either going to be Trump or Biden, and I just couldn't vote for either. So that's where I was at on that last election. Um,
But
this
but but let me ask you another thing, right? Don't you think Biden it himself is a disgrace? I mean, he starts shaking hands with ghosts sometimes. I mean,
Say again.
just put. I'm saying Biden starts shaking hands with ghosts. Like, oh yeah, okay, all right, all right. Have you seen that video when he was shaking hands with the ghosts all the time? Now
I
that
mean,
talks about that this old man is suffering from Alzheimer. I mean, he sees things which no one could. I mean, and one more supplementary question to it, that if Donald Trump acts even once like that, the Democrats will kill him. I mean,
no, I get it, and I think that's the sad thing about politics, because it's all about power. Who wants to? If it's all about power, it's all about who's uh, what is it called when they give money? Oh my god, I can't think of the name. Anyways, when it if 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 Biden, if the roles were reversed, and if there was let's say a Mitt Romney or even a Bush, because I did like the last Bush that was in office. If that was the case, I would be like, I totally understand. Like, he's in there because we may not be here at this point if the other was in office, So I would completely understand that, and I could, that's just me personally. I, I don't know.
He's breaking up, Pankaj. I think he's breaking up, I guess, But I just wanted to show, I think he's talking about this guy, Vivek Ramaswamy, an Indian who is, who's planning to
Welcome
fight
back
an
to Red and Blue. I
election.
am Major Garrett. Well, the Republican
You
presidential
know,
field is growing. 37-year-old
so
Vivek
this guy's
Ramaswamy.
name is Vivek
There we go.
Ramaswamy, and he's an
Say,
Indian.
Aaron
He's willing
Ramaswamy, thank you.
to put
That's why
his
Aaron Navarro's
neck
here. I'm going to get
to
to Aaron in
make
a second,
sure
but he
that
just bailed me out there.
America
That's what I appreciate him for. Announced he's
gets
joining the
into
race
its
for the White
own,
House. He's a biotech
I
entrepreneur,
mean,
and he's known in conservative circles
you
for his
see
book,
this guy
Woke
and, you
Inc.
know what
Let's
I'm
listen.
trying to say.
We forgot all of the ways we're really just the same as Americans, bound by a common set of ideals that set this nation into motion 250 years ago. And that's why I'm proud to say tonight that I am running for
This guy is
United
an
States
Indian. Okay.
president
I mean,
to revive those
he
ideals.
wants to put
Yeah, so the
America
control room
back
is
to
still
its
really
glory
furious
days.
with me for referring to Aaron Navarro way too early, but I had to because he had to bail me out. Joining me now, political reporter Aaron Navarro. So thanks for that assist.
All good.
In addition to who he is, it strikes me that what he's about matters.
Right.
That is to say, he's trying to find a lane that is very distinct and one note right now.
Right. And what he talks a lot about taps into some of these culture war issues, but in Woke Inc. and kind of what he's talked about making the circuits of conservative media is environmental social governance. This basically criticism that corporations are investing into the wrong things, more liberal things, more
Hey,
things that have to
Julian,
deal
you're
with the
back.
climate,
I'm back.
and responding to.
Hey, this is
He's
an
saying
Indian guy
it's
who's
critical.
into the
Culturally through
race
their
to
governance
become the
approach internally.
president.
All of this is not such about
What do you
what
think about
politicians
him?
are doing
His
or saying,
name
how
is
state
Vivek
legislatures are voting,
Ramaswamy.
but how corporate boardrooms are functioning.
Exactly. And he kind of pairs that with saying that
I don't
Americans
know
have,
enough
in
about
his launch,
him.
talks about how Americans have lost their national identity.
He
They've gone
was,
to secular religions.
he
is what
was
he
on
talked about,
the,
kind of referencing.
he was there. He gave interview to the Cartier family. He also, he has, he is above. He has beaten DeSantis in Republican GOP, and he is closing to Donald Trump. And Donald Trump, if he's impeached and if he couldn't fight, maybe this is the guy. And whatever I have heard about him is that that this guy has a pretty good vision. I mean, he was talking about. Have you heard about Don Lemon?
Yes, I have heard about him.
Okay. All right. Now Don Lemon tried to strike at him, and let me show you that interview. Maybe you can give me a perspective. Give me 1 second, okay?
Cool.
Give me 1 second, all right?
No worries.
So it says Don Lemon got embarrassed in his own show. Don Lemon didn't know how to even respond to him. Okay, give me 1 second.
Has to do with the other, but go on. I took up a lot of time with Fox.
Oh, it's fine.
Is it visible to
I
you?
don't really see what one has to do with
It is.
the other, especially consider and using the Civil War to talk about Black Americans. That war was not fought for Black people to have guns. That's not
That war was fought for Black people to have freedoms in this country.
Yeah.
Actually, that's why the Civil War was fought.
okay.
And the
But
sad
that
part
wasn't
about it,
fought for Black people to have guns. I think
actually, you know, funny fact is Black people did not get to enjoy the other freedoms until their Second Amendment rights were secured. And I think that's one of the
but
lessons
Black
that we
people still
learned.
aren't allowed to enjoy the freedoms.
I
as well
disagree
in
with
this
you
country.
on that, Don. I disagree with you. And I think you're doing a disservice to our country
Okay.
by failing to recognize the fact that we
when
have
you are
equality
in
before
black
the law.
skin and you live in this country, then you can disagree with me. But we're not. You mentioned it.
See, I'm back. What I'm saying is that when
Okay.
Don couldn't
1965 and 1964.
when Don couldn't answer his question, Don jumped onto the skin card. I mean, he was like, you don't know how to be black, for example. You know what I'm saying, right? So what he's saying is that if you are an outsider, you're not supposed to talk about black people, even if you're saying something which are good for us. You're not supposed to say that because you're not black. And by the way, if you look at the skin tone, Vivek Ramaswamy was blacker than Don Lemon.
I mean, I get the jokes, but you can't tell a black man that he's not black or you're not living black enough. I mean, it's an insult. It's just like a white man or an Indian man or whatever it may be. But I get where he's coming from, and I actually I like that clip. I like his energy because he said the truth. That war was fought over civil rights. It was over to free black, African Americans, and which is why I'm bewildered when I see people with a rebel flag on the back of their fucking car. It's disrespectful. It's literally like if a Jewish person were to see statues of Adolf Hitler everywhere they fucking went, or the Nazi flag, but it's totally okay for Black Americans to see streets of Robert E. Lee or a big rebel flag. It's the most like that's the problems and the nuances that I recognize for my country. I say to myself, it's not that big of a deal, or I say it's that big of a deal, but I let it go. And I don't know how many other Black Americans see that stuff every day and they're scarred by it, but they just don't think about it. And like anytime I see it, I let it out. It hurts. Like it's painful to see. I hate seeing it. And it's another example is like if white people saw Malcolm X everywhere, but we all know Malcolm X was created to try to protect us, to try to help us against their oppression, against their hate. And that's the part I want to go back to that meme where someone's holding that woman's eyes open, like, you can't see this. This is why we have this, to protect us from this, which you created. It blows my mind. It's just it's like a dream, I don't understand it, but I liked his energy, and I believe he's conservative based on the red tie. At this point, he would have my vote.
Based on the red tie.
Yeah, and the same for the same for Ben Shapiro, which he would never run for presidency. I do like him because he's extremely smart, and for JFK's family member, and I like that man because he was so fiery and he wants to get stuff done, and hopefully that wouldn't change once he got into office. And two things I want to say. Unfortunately, sometimes when it comes to getting a job, it's not based upon the best person all the time, or the person with the best qualifications. Is based upon who wants to win, or who the system wants to win, or because that doesn't sound like a free and fair election. It's based upon who is more popular at the time, and who has the most money. So
No, but my question is one more question I have. Would you accept an Indian as the president of the states?
I would accept anyone that came in here and did the best job. Just not for Black Americans, not for white Americans, just not in for whatever domination. Who did the best for all Americans, and who really tried to get the person on the very bottom of the hierarchy in America to the very top. I'm not preaching socialism. I'm preaching equality for all, freedom for all, love for all. Because at the end of the day, that's what's going to cure the world. There's wars going on, and
But on the war, let me just ask you one question on the war. Okay, So Joe Biden, okay, Democrats, they claim that they're here to help the poor, they're here to help immigrants, to the black community, and that's who makes sure that that they win every election, right? So why Joe Biden? Do you know that they have sent $6.2 billion to Ukraine by mistake? By mistake, and an accountant met it, said, oh, okay, or 6.2 billion. Oh, that went to Ukraine. I'm sorry. We just made a mistake. It's okay. They can fight the future war. That's fine. Now, $6.2 billion can make San Francisco a better city, because you see a lot of people who are homeless in San Francisco, a lot of people who are homeless in Chicago. $6.2 billion. And my question as an outsider, because I mean, I even keep on going to America, but as an outsider, my question is, why does America needs to get inside other wars of other countries who have nothing to do with you? Why do you want to? It's like the white people's problem. I'll teach you what you're supposed to do, son. Why do you have to do that?
I mean, because we're a country that's ruled by white people. Why else? Okay, bad joke. Anyways, I mean, because we are. This is gonna sound so pompous and so arrogant. I guess feels a lot better. I guess we are the world's 911. We will. We have your back if we feel like you're being oppressed, even though there's people here that's oppressed. We I, it's a lot of different things. It's from a strategic standpoint what we're doing. It's for a standpoint of getting us ready in the future, just in case there's any wars. It's
Do you know? The budget of America? The budget spent on Army, Navy, and Air Force in America
it, it's
is
greater
like
than the next four countries in a row.
next four, not next four, next 10 countries, including the biggest threat, China.
Yeah,
Like China, India, Russia, Africa, France, England, Japan, all of them together, and $1 trillion at one side.
yeah. Well,
Because you have to go and fuck Ukraine for some reason, or get into Libya, or like I was talking to my friends in the countries like Afghanistan, Libya, Iraq. They were like, "What's wrong with American? Why do they want to come to my country, bomb my country, and then save themselves from me? I mean, you're coming all the way to bomb me, right?
Say again.
Why would I let you go?"
What's up? It's power, it's money, it's getting allies. I mean, I think it's ridiculous that we spend so much money on war. I hope the world over the next 30, 40, 50 years, during my generation, or if I ever have kids, their generation, if they, I'm hoping it turns from war to something better than war, as far as the amount of money.
Do you connect yourself with the speech given by Martin Luther King Jr., in which he said that I have a dream, folks? You remember that speech which he gave? And in the same speech, he says that at that point, when the day he gave that speech, it was Vietnam War. And he said that the bombs and the missiles which you are dropping on Vietnam are actually falling on the black people's homes, because that money could have been sent to us to improve our lives. What do you think about that thought process?
Like I was saying, I believe it's bullshit that we spend so much money on war, and that we have to spend so much money on war. It's insane. That money that we spend on war, it should be going to things like education. It should be going to things like, curing cancer, and helping people with mental issues, and helping out everyone. That's what that money should be going to, but it doesn't, because we have evil people out there. We have people with power that don't or the dictators in Africa, the dictators anywhere. There's evil people out there, but fortunately for us, for every bad guy, there's 10 or 15 good guys. And just hopefully one day we can get to the point where we're spending less money on war and more money on bettering our lives and living to be 400 years old and still looking 25 years old.
True,
Because
true,
I
true.
don't believe the next big war is going to be, this is outlandish, some may say. I don't think that, I think we're, okay, so for the first time ever, there's been actual reports and the government's admitting to UFOs and aliens and things like that. I know this is
Yeah,
out there,
yeah.
but if there's really aliens out there and they're able to travel to our world, we have a lot bigger issues. We shouldn't be focused on Russia. Russia shouldn't be focused on trying to conquer. We need to get it together, man, because that's pretty serious, So,
But
yeah.
do
And
you know,
another thing I
let
wanted.
me, go ahead, yeah, go ahead, please, go ahead.
Another thing I did want to say about Donald Trump, and it's something positive, is that I guess he I guess he was a very active president, not just on the golf course, but actually in the office, because he's signed a ton of things
And with
into law.
with some prostitute too, with some prostitutes as well. He was very active.
Hey, that's what he did, That's what he did. He paid her a large sum of money, or most of them. I don't know, but yeah, man. All right, cool.
So I was saying that that the Ukraine war, for which America and a lot of people inside America is very passionate about, especially the Hollywood is very passionate about, because a lot of them came from Ukraine to America. When Germany was divided into two parts, it was north, south, and west and south, I guess. Yeah, or no, north and south. So the deal was that America will not even cross that line in Germany for NATO. Now America has added so many countries apart from that line and reached to Ukraine. So Russia was supposed to act the way they are acting right now.
Very true.
Okay, and by the way, this war is making Russia richer than ever. They're getting really rich. I mean, nobody, even India is getting rich because we are buying crude oil from Russia at very low cost. So,
right.
By the way, we Indians are very smart people. That's why I'm asking you to make Vivek our guy as the president of America, because they're very smart people.
Hang on. So that one more time.
I'm saying Vivek Ramaswamy, the guy who's from India. I mean, the guy he wants to be the president, and I think all the Americans should vote for him because he's really smart. I mean, he is done some wonderful things. He has developed 5 different medicines. One of them is saving child. He had a biotech company. He's a billionaire. And what else? I mean, he's a wonderful person, actually, if you ask me. So,
Right.
and he has a very. Do you know what he said when they were asked, "What would you do with the FBI?" He said, "I'll shut it down. I'll create a new thing instead of FBI. I'm going to fire 75% of the federal government employees. I'm going to shut down the education department. I'm gonna defund the police if they act stupid." So so he's saying some right thing. It's just that a lot of people are questioning him because he's not a Christian. He's a Hindu, the community I belong to.
Right.
So there was this Donald Trump's priest who blasted saying, "I don't want your gods to come to my country. I want your gods to remain in India. It's my country. It belongs to Jesus. It belongs to gods." So, I mean, and do you know when that happens? When you don't have an argument, then you jump on faith. Okay. So my request is that, I mean, I would want you to watch him a little more and give it a try, because I saw him on Cartier Family. Do you know Cartier Family, the YouTube team, Cartier Family?
No, I'm not aware.
Okay.
I've never heard of them before.
Okay. Okay, I saw him there on Cartier Family. Yeah.
I do want to say Russia may be getting a lot. They may be getting richer, but they're also showing how incompetent they are. I
Yeah.
really,
True.
I mean, they may have not shown their full hand yet, but I could just kind of feel like they have. They're famous for disinformation, but their disinformation is horrible compared to ours. Um,
Yep.
I don't believe that you've seen our best weapons on the battlefield. You may have, but just knowing my country, we move in silence, and so I uh, I just don't believe Russia. Russia is literally that guy at the end of the night at the bar who lies to all the women and says, "Hey, I have this, I have that, I got the biggest dick in the bar. Come home with me." And you get home, he has a micro. So, yeah, that's how I feel about Russia, and that's how I've always kind of felt about Russia. But going forward, when it comes to the gentleman, I can't pronounce his name right now. I'm gonna have to learn that on my own. But I, when it comes to bringing religion into politics, I think that's a bullshit move. Even though it's technically right, I don't think it is right because we are a Christian-based country, and I believe in. I'm more spiritual than I am believing in just God because I don't know, you know. But I
Maybe these
I
aliens are our gods.
you know I think you've seen some of my Instagram posts, and yeah, that's how I kind of feel. DMT, psychedelics, man, they're good for you and they could be bad for you.
Did
If
you
now, if I'm
did you
right,
get any?
then these
Did you get it?
psychedelics
Like,
were good.
are you getting? Did you get any psychedelic? I mean, do you use them or what's the deal?
Yeah, in the future, I plan in the future I definitely plan on using psychedelics when I'm more settled down. If I can't get settled down and life is not so bouncy, it's a good way to heal. It's a good way to open up your mind and to just be happy. So I definitely plan on using a lot of psychedelics. Well, I don't want to say a lot. Well, maybe a lot of some, not some others, because I know it can be detrimental to your health. But weed and tripping, man, it's all about the love. So
Mhm, mhm. So one more thing is that
you'll have to visit America and come hang out.
so India is also like India is a place of spirituality. Okay, so there was this Harvard professor who tried to develop a drug called as LSD. You might have heard about it.
Yes.
Yeah. So let me give me 1 second. Okay, let me show you LSD. What happened was he came to one of India's saints, one of the mystics. So he came and he was saying that Baba, I got this LSD, and if you have this, it gets your brain to God and this and that. And that Baba said, his name was Baba Neem Karoli. Okay, he said, how many do you have? He said, I have like 50 of them. He said, give me those. Okay, and he took all 50 and ate them at once. 50 LSD pills at once. Okay, he ate them, he drank water, and he started talking to others. What's up then, guys? What's going on? And this guy, the Harvard professor, is waiting the impact. He was thinking that he might die, he might something happened to him. Nothing happened to him. And it's the same guy, the guy I'm telling you about, it's the same guy to whom the Apple CEO, what was the name of Apple CEO? Steve Jobs. Steve Jobs came to India to see this guy. Okay. And then after that, Mark Zuckerberg came to see this guy. Okay, you read about him. His name is Baba Neem Karoli. Let me also show it to you. Steve Jobs. Okay, give me 1 second. Let me share it with you. Okay, you see this? Steve Jobs was struck by the ingenuine incongruity between India's condition and its airs of holiness. So if you read about him, and then it was Steve Jobs who asked Mark Zuckerberg to go to and meet this, this priest, or you can call him the mystic. And as I was telling you, he took 50 LSD pills and didn't impact him because he was spiritually at a next level. It didn't work on him. It just didn't work on him.
Wow.
Yeah. So what I'm saying is that you should come to India once, okay? I'll take you to some places, and maybe you don't need psychedelics. Maybe you need something else because you're an emotional and spiritual guy. Maybe you don't need them.
I would be open to that if that would help with the trauma, if that would help with the healing, if that would help with becoming a better person, more open, more loving. I would do that. I definitely would.
Bob Marley came to the same guy. Bob Marley was in India for 6 years. You know that, right?
No, I didn't know that. That's amazing.
Okay, all right. Let me show you Bob Marley in India. I mean, Bob Marley was in India, and he became why Bob Marley is famous in India. You see this? In fact, you should definitely know about him. He came to India. He became a mystic. He started praying to Indian gods. He became a changed person also. He lived in India for 6 years. Bob Marley was in India for 6 years. And he changed his life in India completely. It was a complete change from who he was in America to, and let me show you how he used to sing a song for Indian gods, okay? There is a song which he sang for Indian god, okay? Okay, let me show you one of the songs sang by him. Okay, give me one second. You see him?
Yes.
Yeah. My God, these guys, these white people.
Will have the best click-through rate and lead to the most.
Shambho Shankara Namah Shivaya, Gita Shankara Namah Shivaya.
Did you hear that? That's Bob Marley singing
Really?
a song for the Indian god.
Wow. I didn't know that.
Yeah. Bob Marley was in India for 6 years. He became Indian. He accepted the religion of Hinduism. He remained in India for 6 years. He was praying. He was high on marijuana all the time, right? You know Bob Marley, right? So there is an Indian god who's been claimed to use marijuana for more than 70,000 years. So this Indian god, his name is God Shiva, and he's been smoking marijuana from the ages, from the eternity. So even if you look at the pictures of him, you will see him like, let me show you, okay? So his pictures which were made, you see, this is the Indian god, he's smoking marijuana. You see him?
Yes.
So this is our God. This is the biggest God we have, and he smokes marijuana, and he's been doing that. Our belief system is that he's doing it from last maybe millions of years. So Bob Marley became a disciple of this God when he came to India, and even Will Smith. If you listen to the ideas of Will Smith, he's also talks about this God in most of his interviews. He says that that he's trying to understand this God, trying to know how he is. And
Will
one of
Smith?
his name is Bhagwan Shiva.
No, I'm saying Will Smith, the
Yeah, Will
actor.
Smith. Yeah, Will Smith, the
Okay.
actor. Yes. Yeah,
All
Will
right.
Smith, the
You
actor.
know, you have to listen to Will Smith, or else you know that.
Hey, by the way, after you got the haircut, you look a little like the guy he smacked.
Hey, Chris Rock. Come on, Will. This is national TV, man. Come on, man.
Okay,
A
I'm
little
sorry. Okay, all right, I'm sorry. Hey, there are some of the people asking questions and saying one of the guys is writing is, oh, the superpower country doesn't have good internet. That's sarcastic.
Yeah, no, it's not really. I was blaming it on the country, but it's really it's my internet. It's horrible
Okay.
right now. So.
Okay. Okay. And one of the guys is saying that he doesn't know that Steve Jobs came and lived in India for 3 years. Yeah, okay, all right. So a lot of people do not know that. No, I mean you
I
can't,
learned something today.
yeah, you can't say that. Many people are saying Donald Trump will come back in 2024. What are your views on that?
Man, well, Russia's in a war right now, and so he probably won't be able to win. So yeah, that's how I kind of feel about it. I don't
Russia is in a war right now.
I don't think I don't
By
think
the way, Indians will not get your jokes. I mean, I can get them, but the people who are watching, they'll not get your jokes.
right. Basically, there was some interference in our last election. Not our last
Yeah,
election,
yeah.
but the election before that. And so, with that interference, it was Russia that interfered with our election, and probably China, God knows who. But long story short, Donald Trump doesn't need to win the presidency. There's a lot of other people who are qualified, or a lot more
True, I
qualified
agree.
than like the Indian gentleman. It's
Yes.
disrespectful to him if Donald Trump were to win the election. I guess at the same time, I have to say it just because it's fair. Biden has a great team, but even still, it's disrespectful to a person like that if Biden were to win the next election. But uh, Biden any day over Trump. He doesn't need to get
But
back into the White
what about the Biden's election when Twitter and Facebook and all of them decided to bury the story of Hunter Biden's laptop? That was also interfering in the elections, wasn't it?
I mean, as far as Hunter Biden has nothing, he has everything to do with Joe Biden, but he has nothing to do with Joe Biden. If they could bring up the things that the Trump kids did, and I'm pretty sure the Trump kids were doing a lot of stuff, especially back in the day. I read a story on Hunter Biden, and we all have our traumas, but he went through a lot. At when he was a child, he lost his mom, he lost his sister, and I believe he maybe lost another sibling. Like, I don't even know that he's had trauma. The Trump kids. I'm not saying that Hunter Biden didn't grow up wealthy and he didn't grow up with privileges that other Americans may not have had, but I don't think the Trump kids had anything like that. Like he's still trying to heal. He needs to go to India with me to come heal. So it's absolutely ridiculous that they bring up Hunter Biden, and they didn't bring up all the only word I can think is infidelities, which it isn't infidelities because that's sleeping with someone or whatever, but all the little things or the big things that the Trump kids got away with. So it's bullshit.
No, I agree. I agree. Trump kids did a lot of shit, and I agree because nobody talks about it. But it's just that that if I talk about Twitter or if I talk about Facebook, had the Trump kid found with the laptop issue, I mean, they would have blown it out of proportion. That's what I want to say. I mean, it's
because
just that.
because everyone in America knows, or most people know, that he is not good for the country. If that was the case, it's because we know he's not good for the country. He is a cancer who doesn't need to win any election here. I mean, the guy has bankrupt companies. I mean, like, come on. Come on, even though that's a normal practice of business and wealthy, it's just he doesn't need to be the president. He doesn't.
Hey, did you hear the conspiracy theory about Bill Clinton and Hillary Clinton's people who got close to him got killed? Like there are 149 people who were, and it can be just a conspiracy theory, but it's very interesting if you look at it. I mean, it's on Wikipedia, Clinton body count conspiracy theory. So what they say is that that anybody who got close to Clinton's, it has been disproven, I mean, according to Wikipedia, but they say that anybody who was a close associate to them, somebody who was a friend to them, somebody who was their bodyguards, a policeman, all these people disappeared. So I was just showing you the conspiracy theory, which is visible if you could see on the screen. So do you have any idea about this thing, which is which talks about Clintons?
I know my family has some dealings with the Clintons, and I was gonna joke and say, next question, because you don't talk about the boogeyman if you don't want the boogeyman to show up, But
I know.
but I've heard of it, and quite honestly, I'm kind of skeptical about talking about it right now. So I just kind of want
Yeah,
to leave
that's
that to
true.
you.
It might be true, it might not be true. I mean, you never know. But they're politicians.
They are politicians, but the Clintons
And
are
the good ones.
politicians.
And the good ones.
The Clintons are politicians that are above the politicians. They have real power. So
Yeah. And what do you think about India? I mean, have you heard about the politics in India? Do you know the Prime Minister of India? Have you heard about these people? The Indian Prime Minister who visited
I haven't.
America like last
If
month?
No, I haven't reached. It's not, and if it's not going on right in my everyday life, as I can't read it on my phone, or if it's not working, I really don't with this right now. If I got into
So
politics,
this
I
is
would definitely learn more about all of this.
this is the guy who's India's Prime Minister. Okay, you see him. He's meeting with Biden. So this is the guy, who's the Prime Minister of India. This bearded guy, if you see him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Just wanted to show you that poor people like us are ruled by this gentleman.
Is he doing a good job?
Yeah, I mean, fairly okay. I mean, let's not use the word fair, because I don't like the word fair, because maybe anything which is good is black. I mean, why it has to be fair? You know what I'm saying?
Very true.
So okay, all right. So on the business front, okay, what do you think the opportunities in? Because see, I cannot talk to you about the business because it's a public forum, and I don't want to discuss the business side. But just to ask you, if there is a young kid who is in India and looking at you, I mean, what are your advices to that kid in India, that what all he needs to take care of to become a good businessman?
To be a good businessman, a
Mhm.
good businessman is being a good businessman and being a good person are two different things. And you can be a good businessman and be a good person, and you can run a good person. But sometimes business is about making cold moves, just like being a good person is. If something's weighing you down, you have to cut it off, just like your business. If you want to get into business, I say treat people with respect, treat people the right way, do the right thing, work hard, and it will hopefully all come to you. Just because you get in business doesn't mean you'll be successful. That's the difference between winners and losers. and it's a very thin line. um, but just following, not necessarily following your heart in the very beginning, but following your mission. And some people will be able to do it by following their heart, but others have to follow a mission and just getting in the grind and getting to it and eventually figuring out what they're good at and getting to where they want to. You got to treat everything like a vehicle sometimes. And that's one thing I learned through Buddhism is impermanence. Nothing is forever. Nothing you have, it's not yours. And that's why I say that some of us are Buddhists and some of us are not when it comes to things. And I didn't mean to say that in a disrespectful tone to Buddhism or whatever it may be. But I think if there's young kids in India that want to do business in America, I think the import-export business would be good. I believe the service industry is good. I think getting good at computers is good. I think anything that you put your mind and your heart to, and you want to do it here in America or create a relationship with people here in America, you can do that and be successful, or even in other countries, or even in your own country.
Okay. All right. I mean, it was an absolute delight to talk to you, despite of your internet issues.
Thank you.
Okay, and maybe we can try one more time where we can talk next time, maybe in a month's time or so,
That would be
because
cool.
slowly yeah, slowly, I mean, honestly speaking, the reason why I talk to you, I mean, off the record, on the phone, and today, we are talking on a live recording, because I love talking to you, because you're one mature guy, who genuinely has views, and you don't shy away from sharing them because of XYZ reasons. So that's one thing which I'm really proud of, that I'm your friend and you're my friend. And it
Well,
has been like that for from last 6 years, I guess.
I mean, it's to show if you give me an environment where I can grow in and be myself, I will be myself. And I appreciate you for always being a friend and allowing me to do that. I also appreciate you for putting me back in my spot when I need it as well. So thank you.
All right, brother. You have a good one, and I'll call you right after this, okay?
All right. Hey, I'm about to run. I have to get to work. So if we probably won't talk, but we'll talk. All right. Love, man.
Okay, all right. You have a nice day, okay? You
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 too.
have a good one. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank
Good
you.
night. Bye bye.
Yeah, bye-bye.